I had a boyfriend at the time.
The father
The
of
whole
the child came to my house, told me they had a DNA test with somebody else. So I moved on with my life. What else am I supposed to do after the head of your household comes to me?
Chris and I kept telling him that this is his child.
No,
you don't know what I
know
tell
what you
him.
said.
That's what I said to your phone, but you don't know what I tell this man. I've been with him about what I tell him or what we discuss. But she ain't there and she don't know. I told him that child's father.
I've had a couple people tell me, hey, you know Miss Bernari's out here cheating on you. And I find out she's sleeping on a couch with another guy naked, taking a shower with another guy. This whole time I'm away. The times don't add up to when I came back for it to be my kid.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. A guy just waltzed into court claiming he's the long-lost dad of Ms. Brown, who's standing there with her mom, Alicia, looking like they've just seen a ghost. This dude, Mr. Hampton, is sure he's her bio dad and says he's got the receipts to prove it. Buckle up, because this courtroom roller coaster is just leaving the station.
Stand before the court with your mother, Alicia. You say your world was recently turned upside down when you were contacted by a man whom you've never even heard of for claiming to be your birth father. And he will join us in a moment. Now, he claims he has evidence to prove he is, in fact, your biological father.
So, Kayla drops a bombshell that she got a DM on Instagram from a so-called sister, which is wild, right? Turns out this leads her to Mr. Hampton, who slid into her Facebook DMs claiming he's her daddy. Just when you thought your social media was drama-free, this saga takes it to a whole new level.
I was adopted when I was 3 months old, so I have no idea who my extended family is or my biological mother. I was recently contacted by someone claiming to be my sister on what's called Instagram. From there, he messaged me on Facebook. He said, Kayla, I think I finally found your Facebook. Please let me know. I have no idea how much you or your adopted parents know about how things were, but I'll be more than willing to answer your question.
Here comes Mr. Hampton, strutting in like he owns the place, ready to spill the tea on his 2-decade quest to find Kayla. He's got tales of love and baby naming to share, making it all sound like a soap opera episode. And just when you think you've heard it all, wait till you hear what he does next.
I've been looking for my daughter for 20 years, Your Honor. I was in love with her mother, Your Honor.
You all were in a relationship?
Yes, we were in a relationship, Your Honor. She was pregnant, Your Honor. This was my first child. I'm the one that gave her name, Your Honor.
So you were participating in this pregnancy and in the birth?
You know, I moved to Alaska to be with her mother while she was pregnant.
All right, Mr. Hampton is now playing show and tell with some old toys and baby pics, claiming they connect him to Kayla's birth mom. The court's buzzing because, let's be honest, who keeps toys for 20 years? Grab your snacks, folks, because this mystery is about to get even juicier.
Do you have any proof of this?
The toys that I first bought her before they left, Your Honor.
So this is a picture. The person you say is Miss Brown's birth mother.
I've kept this photo for years, Your Honor, because I knew someday that I would find her, Your Honor.
And who's in this photo, Mr. Hampton?
That's me, that's my daughter here, and that's her mother, Your Honor.
Things are heating up as Miss Alicia, Kayla's adoptive mom, recognizes a photo but calls BS on Mr. Hampton's story. It's like watching a tennis match with the back and forth between these two. You won't want to miss what's thrown into the mix next. It's a curveball.
Ms. Brown, is this a picture of you?
I think it looks like me. It has a little devious smile that I had.
This is amazing. Have you ever seen this picture?
No.
It looks like you to me. It looks like your eyebrow. And look, I don't know the results of the either, so I am inside this mystery with you, and I want to figure it out for you.
I know that it's my daughter, Your Honor.
The plot thickens. They're now hashing out some serious discrepancies with child support papers and adoption details. Mr. Hampton is adamant he's been shelling out cash while Ms. Brown has paperwork saying otherwise. Fasten your seatbelts. The revelations coming up are mind-blowing.
What are you reading?
Her adoption papers.
May I see that, please?
Yes.
Your Honor, I got child support right here, Your Honor. The state of Alaska was collecting child support from me for her.
I took this child several different times, at least for sure 3 times, if not 4 times, in for blood tests. And they never could determine who the father was. Kept listing different men. Okay, now they think this is the father. Can you please bring her in for another test?
Just when you thought it was safe to go back into the courtroom, the emotional floodgates burst open. Both sides are laying it all on the line with tears and years of pent-up feelings. Keep those tissues handy because the emotional roller coaster is hitting a loop-de-loop.
They had me paying child support. That's what
Don't they have to determine paternity to be able to make you pay child support?
Yeah, you do have to have a paternity affidavit.
Well, then they must have proved that I was your father then. There couldn't have been another man.
The paperwork you completed states there is an order for child support in Alaska and that the order names you as the father.
Are you ready for this? The big reveal is here.
You are not her father.
All right, strap in for this doozy. Mr. Johnson throws down the gauntlet, accusing Ms. Carr of yanking his chain about being daddy-o to her daughter for nearly 2 decades. He's all kinds of stirred up about the roller coaster of daddy drama. Ms. Carr claps back, claiming Mr. Johnson has been playing hide and seek with both a DNA test and his daddy duties.
Mr. Johnson, you say the defendant, Mrs. Carr, has been playing an emotional DNA game with you over her daughter's paternity for the past 18 years. You've brought her to court to finally end the game and prove you are not her daughter's biological father.
Hold on to your popcorn, because this plot twist is a real kicker. The courtroom dives into the nitty-gritty of Mr. Johnson and Ms. Carr's hit-and-run kind of fling. Mr. Johnson lays it out that they were barely a thing, just a one-night bender, which Ms. Carr totally disputes, saying there was more than one roll in the hay. The plot thickens as they untangle their brief and chaotic connection. Brace yourself, because the next bit is a real eyebrow raiser.
Take me back to the nature of this relationship.
My uncle married her auntie. They adopted her. I used to go over their house and help him out, like cutting grass and things of that nature, and I would stay the night. They would allow us to sleep in the same room. We had sex one time. It was a lot of touchy-feely before, and the one time we had sex, it was wham bam, thank you ma'am.
It's not true.
You can't make this stuff up. The chit-chat swings to the aftermath of baby making, where Mr. Johnson was originally dubbed Daddy, only to get the psych, not your kid bomb dropped on him thanks to another guy's paternity test. This bombshell left Mr. Johnson out in the cold for years, marinating in confusion and a whole lot of what the heck. The saga continues, and oh boy, it's about to level up.
And then, once you had the baby, what did you do? Call him back and try to
I did not call him. I did not pursue him. I had a boyfriend at the time.
The father of the child came to my house, told me they got a DNA test with somebody else, so I moved on with my life. What else am I supposed to do after the head of your household comes to me and tell me
that's not true.
that...
Cue the surprise encounter. Years later, Mr. Johnson has a run-in at the grocery store with a little girl who calls him daddy out of the blue. Talk about a plot twist. This unexpected daddy call pushes Mr. Johnson to demand a DNA test to clear up this family mystery once and for all. The drama intensifies, and you won't believe the curveball coming next.
Seeing the daughter in a grocery store, she run up to me like, daddy, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like, hey, I want to say I'm not your daddy, but I can't tell this little girl this, you know what I'm saying? I recognize the family members, so I just assumed this was Miss
her.
May. But I'm confused as to why she's calling me daddy, asking for a DNA test. Like, no, you can't just say that she's my daughter without me getting a DNA test.
Grab your tissues, because this part's a tearjerker with a twist of humor. Little Amber May, caught in the paternity pickle, shares her scant memories of Mr. Johnson, sprinkling in how she feels about being the odd one out in the daddy debacle. It's a poignant mix of sweet and sad as she unpacks her feelings of abandonment. Fasten your seatbelts, because the emotional roller coaster is about to go off the rails.
Memories with Mr. Johnson. My 10th birthday, he threw me a party at the water park. I remember that. From summer after 5th grade, I remember that day because he made it in the house while all my cousins playing outside.
There was a lot of boys out there. She was the only girl.
I was not. Last time I saw Mr. Johnson was the 5th grade summer. It was probably around 2010.
And here's the grand finale.
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Johnson, you are her father.
Buckle up, Buttercup. Mr. Vadaboncoeur kicks off the drama fest by trying to prove he's not the dad of Ms. Fernari's 1-year-old son, Dawson. He's pretty much saying he wants to ghost her forever once the DNA test says he's off the hook. Let's see how this baby daddy drama unfolds.
Mr. Vadaboncoeur, you have petitioned the court to prove to Ms. Fernari that you are not the biological father of her 1-year-old son, Dawson. You claim you can prove you're not father, and when today's results win your case, you want her out of your life for good.
All right, spill the beans. Mr. V, Mr. Vadaboncoeur breaks down his relationship with Ms. Fernari, if you can even call it that. We're talking a couple of Facebook flirts, and bam, baby talk. He's adamant it was just a brief fling, while she's in the back ready to narrate a full-blown soap opera saga.
Tell me about your relationship with Ms. Fernari.
Well, Your Honor, there was really never no relationship. I met her over Facebook through my sister, and after that, I had unprotected sex with her. I ended up going away probably 3 to 4 days later. Now, 6 months down the road, get a letter from my sister stating that Fernari's pregnant.
Hold the phone, folks. Ms. Fernari drops a truth bomb. Turns out she wasn't exactly waiting by the window while Mr. V was away. She admits to a side hustle with another dude, stirring up a whole can of who's the daddy worms. If you thought this was messy, just wait for the family to weigh in.
That I had sex with another guy while he was away.
Mr. Vadaboncoeur, what were you told?
I've had a couple people tell me, hey, you know Miss Fernari's out here cheating on you. And I find out she's sleeping on a couch with another guy naked, taking a shower with another guy. This whole time I'm away. The times don't add up to when I came back for it to be my kid.
Enter stage stage left. Ms. Janine Vadaboncourt, the sister with the scoop. She's supposed to back her bro, but plot twist. She's testifying for Team Furnari. She dishes all the gossip about Ms. Furnari's escapades. Drama alert! What she says next could turn the whole case upside down.
You are a relation to Mr. Vadbonker?
Yes, that's my brother.
Tell me what you know.
One night after we had all been drinking, she slept with one of the people that came to our little get-together. That's the only time I caught her cheating. I mean, I had suspicions, but...
Why? Because of her talking on the phone, or...?
Just different behaviors and stuff, and I told my brother that...
Grab your popcorn. This family feud is better than reality TV. We've got shouting, crying, and enough dirty laundry to keep a soap opera running. Each testimony is like a mini drama series, and nobody seems to agree on who did what or who saw whom. Make sure you're tuned in for the next revelation. It's a real jaw-dropper.
Were you sleeping with multiple men during the window of conception?
No, I wasn't, Your Honor. It's mutual. They were cheating. It was back and forth. I know many times of him cheating on her. I know one time really of her. I don't know anything else. It was mutual. It was a very tumultuous relationship between both of them. It was like fire and ice with them.
It's crunch time and everyone's on edge. Mr. Vadaboncourt and Miss Furnari throw their last cards on the table, hoping to sway the DNA gods in their favor. The air's thick with anticipation and last-minute bombshells. Strap in, because the verdict is about to blow everyone's minds.
Is indeed determined that Mr. Vadbonker is Dawson's biological father. Where do you go from here?
I want him to be in Dawson's life.
You want him to be a father?
Yes, I want him to be a father.
And you will allow him. If he's not biological child, then what?
I'll go my separate way.
There's been so many times I have tried to do so many things. I think she has some kind of doubt in her mind, not mine.
We all know.
Well, the only way to move forward is to get the result.
Wait for it, and boom!
It has been determined by this court. Mr. Vadbonker, you are the father.
That's your son, David.
Fine.
You can stop or you could be his dad.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. Ms. Norris is throwing down, claiming Mr. Johnny D. Norris Sr. has been dodging the dad label for 22 years. She's betting all her chips that the DNA results will slap a father tag on him.
Ms. Norris, you claim Johnny B. Norris Sr. been denying he fathered your son for the past 22 years. You say today's paternity results will prove him wrong. Mr. Norris, you state that you've always known that Johnny Jr. is not your son, and today you believe the DNA finally proved it.
Here's a twist you didn't see coming. After popping out their son, Ms. Norris says they got hitched right in her dad's front yard. Talk about low-budget romance. But hold up, there's more to this soap opera just around the corner.
After having my son, we were married by my father. Front yard. We had a yard wedding.
Shotgun wedding, y'all. When she became pregnant, I thought it'd be the right thing to do as far as marrying her. I was kind of forced into it due to the circumstance. But I loved her at the time, y'all. I don't deny that.
Forced. And as he said, we're in love. I know that I head over heels.
Can you believe the nerve? As the judge digs deeper, Mr. Norris drops a bomb. His mother-in-law was throwing shade about him being the dad from the get-go, which totally messed with his head.
Why does he deny your son?
That I don't know, Your Honor.
His grandmother said that I wasn't his father.
I don't believe that. If she did say that to him, it was because she was just so fed up.
At that time, you had just had your son and named him Junior.
Yes, ma'am.
So
Yes,
you named after Senior over here.
Yes, Your Honor.
Grab your tissues. This one's a tearjerker. Ms. Norris spills the beans about Mr. Norris bailing on their son's 8th birthday. Talk about bad timing. What comes next? More finger-pointing and jaw-dropping drama? That's what.
I was totally in love with Mr. Norris here. And on my son's 8th birthday, that is the last time we seen him. He left. He disappeared.
That's not how it happened at all. Actually, prior to his birthday, her and I wasn't getting along. There wasn't no need me hanging around. And like I said, she had been gone. You know, she'd be gone from time to time. So I was basically just there.
You won't believe this mess. The courtroom turns into a he-said-she-said battleground over cheating accusations. Mr. Norris claims he had to hightail it out of there because of Ms. Norris's alleged infidelities. Strap in, because the emotional roller coaster is just getting started.
But, Your Honor, he was the cheater.
You said she was cheating. She says you were cheating.
Yes, he was the cheater.
But why do you pick his 8th birthday to leave?
It wasn't on his birthday.
Junior, do you remember any of this?
Last time I seen this man, he sat me on my lap, let me know that he was parting ways. I don't remember in detail.
He parting ways with you or your mom?
Parting ways, he had to leave and he'll be back.
Things are getting real now. Ms. Norris is all in. No doubts about Mr. Norris being the pops. Meanwhile, he's reeling from the supposed gossip his mother-in-law spread. The next testimony, it's a real kicker. Stay tuned.
Was there any doubt with respect to the paternity?
No, ma'am, not for me. I've always knew he was his father.
And what about from Mr. Norris Sr.? Did he take care of Junior? Was he present in his life?
Up until the time
while he there,
his grandmother
he did
said
contribute.
that when she said he wasn't my son.
He never...
That put a dagger in my heart because I was a young man.
This is heavy, folks. Junior talks about how tough it was growing up dadless, which turned him into a bit of a rebel. It's raw, it's real, and it's a bit of a heart squeeze. But guess what? The biggest bombshell is just ahead.
What was life like growing up without your father? What was it like after that moment?
On the subject situation of my father not being there, induced a great deal of anger, upon me, and I acted out in different subject ways, as in got in a variety of fights. I was very rebellious.
Ms. Norris went detective mode to track down Mr. Norris years after he vanished. She's been holding a torch and a grudge, looking for some answers. And boy, does the next part drop a bomb.
When I decided to search for him, it was about 6 years ago, I believe. I had moved to Georgia with a friend. She helped me to go online. We were able to find a family member of Mr. Norris. I gave them a number to contact me. He did. I gave him an address for my son to write him and promised that he would, which that never happened.
Buckle up, here comes the big reveal.
It has been determined by this court, Mr. Norris Sr., you are not his father.
I told you, Your Honor.
Guess who's back in court? Yep, Ms. Simmons strides in, claiming Mr. Burgess, the man with the wandering eye and a fiancé, got her pregnant and then ghosted. She's here to slap him with proof that he's the dad of her little boy, dropping a drama bomb right from the start.
Ms. Simmons claimed that the defendant begged you to have his baby, but then disappeared when you told him you were pregnant. So you're here to prove to Mr. Burgess and his fiancé that he is your son's father.
Oh, snap. Here comes Mr. Burgess with a plot twist. He throws back that their fling was just a short sizzle and accuses Ms. Simmons of trying to pin another dude's baby on him. The air's getting spicy with all these accusations flying around. Just wait for the next bit. It's a doozy.
Mr. Burgess, you say your relationship with the plaintiff was just a quick fling, and Ms. Simmons wants you to care of another man's baby as
well. Hello, drama. We're diving into how these two met, and boy, it escalated quickly. From online chats to a turbocharged real-life hookup, they didn't waste any time. Ms. Simmons spills the tea on their quick move from hellos to the bedroom. Stick around. The fireworks are just about to start.
How did you get involved with a man almost twice your age?
We was talking online at first, and we was talking phone, and he had told me he's single and everything. Then we eventually started. I had came to his house and everything. First day I did come to the house, so we did have sex on the first day. So we just was kicking it ever since then.
Did you use protection?
We was using condoms, but they kept breaking, so we stopped using condoms.
Hold up, did he just say that? Judge Lake is on the case, grilling Mr. Burgess on his single status claim while he's clearly engaged. The courtroom's heating up with these sneaky revelations. You'll want to see what's coming. Trust me, it's worth the wait.
Mr. Burgess, did you tell her you were single?
Yes, ma'am, I did.
You say you have a fiance?
Yes, ma'am.
If you were having sex and the condom kept breaking, is it that you can definitively say you are not Malachi's biological father?
I had my doubts, from her coming over there the first time I seen her, chopped it up as soon as she came over there.
How often did you have sex, Miss Simmons?
We was always having sex.
That's not true, Your Honor.
Get ready for a showdown. Ms. Simmons and Mr. Burgess can't agree on how often they were getting cozy. He says a few times. She says all the time. It's a he said, she said, with a side of sass. And oh, the next exchange? It's even juicier.
When I met online, I talked to her once or twice. I got her number. We went from there. 3 times, probably a week.
I was over there almost every day. If I wasn't at school or I was at your house, how is it only twice or 3 times? Don't lie, because she's here.
And you say he's not telling the truth, Miss Simmons?
No, he lying. He lying. I was there almost every day. I was at his house all the time.
Maybe 3 times a week.
You a lie.
Here's a twist. Mr. Burgess pulls out a poster to chart their liaisons as if he's unveiling a secret weapon. He's trying to math his way out of paternity with timelines and quick maths. Grab your popcorn, because the next part is even more enthralling.
What proof do you have?
I can go to the poster here. See, 3 is meaning the first time she ever came to my house, it was within 3 hours of us having sex. That's very quick.
Numbers don't lie, you said.
One time that we actually had unprotected sex, one day she told me she was pregnant. She told me she was pregnant. The next day, she was like, I'm pregnant. I said, how you gonna know that? She was like, I know my body.
Can you feel the tension? As soon as the pregnancy bomb dropped, Mr. Burgess turned into Houdini, trying to vanish into thin air. His disappearing act didn't go unnoticed. And oh boy, the courtroom's about to get even more heated.
The day I took the pregnancy test, I had sent him a picture of the 2 pregnancy tests I took. So he was taking too long, so I had called him. And when I spoke on the phone with him, I was going to school, I had a job, and I was like, I ain't ready to be nobody's mother. So he was like, yeah, don't cry. God know what he was doing, anything like that. So then that's when he had told me he was going to Alabama and everything. And I was like, what you going to Alabama for? And he's like, oh, I'm just going with some homies. Lies.
Enter stage left, Ms. Arnold, the fiancé with detective skills. She caught a whiff of the drama when she spotted Ms. Simmons' digits on her man's phone. What she found out next could fill a soap opera episode by itself.
I found out about her. I went through his phone. He came to Alabama to visit me one week. It came to the point to where we had to take him to the bus station to catch his bus to get back to Atlanta. He had to charge his phone up. But as soon as it comes on, 2 text messages pop up. He ended up falling asleep. And when I looked at the phone, the unknown number said, so this how you gonna do? You gonna send me to the voicemail. So you just gonna stand me up. Call me when you get this message.
Just when you think it's all out in the open, the stakes are sky high as they hash out whether Mr. Burgess is playing daddy denial to keep his relationship afloat. But wait, there's more. The next reveal is a real jaw-dropper.
I petitioned this court for the paternity because of Chris and I kept telling him that this is his child.
No,
you don't know what I
know
tell
what you
him.
phone.
That's what I sent to your phone, but you don't know what I tell this man. I've been with him about what I tell him or what we discuss. But she ain't there and she don't know. I told him that child's father. And that's what we used to get into it about, because I kept telling him, how are we gonna deal with this situation?
And here comes the big reveal. Drum roll, please.
It has been determined by the court. Mr. Burgess, you are the father.
Hold on to your popcorn, folks. Judge Lake kicks off the show. Miss Lawrence steps up with a doozy of a story, telling us about a family secret so big it could be its own reality show. She thought one dude was her dad for 28 years. Surprise, there might be another dad in the running. She's so serious about finding out, she's got a paternity test in hand.
Ms. Lawrence, you claim that 6 months ago, your mother shared a secret she'd kept from you your entire life. After 28 years believing one, you have petitioned the court for a paternity test. Find out if the man waiting outside of our courtroom today is indeed your biological father.
No kidding, this just got real. Miss Simmons, the mom, owns up to keeping mum about the whole dad drama. She spills the beans about bumping into an old flame, Mr. Rochemore, on a bus and dropping the maybe your dad bomb on him for the first time. The plot thickens, and oh boy, Mr. Rochemore is about to walk in.
Now, Miss Simmons, you admit to keeping a lifelong secret from your daughter. You claim you recently ran into an ex-lover on a bus. You say that for the very first time told this man that he could be your daughter's dad. We'll meet him in just a few moments.
Talk about a soap opera twist. Miss Lawrence tells us how her mom, in between sobs and sniffles, broke the news over the phone about potential dad number 2. This call turned her world upside down, trashing their mother-daughter bestie status. Buckle up, because the emotional roller coaster is just leaving the station.
Called me about 6 months ago. When I answered the phone, she was hysterically crying, and of course, I didn't know what was going on. I'm asking her what's wrong, beating around the bush, telling me all these random stories. And then finally she goes into saying that some random man on the bus and that he could possibly be my father.
You can't make this stuff up. Miss Simmons recounts that fateful bus meet, cute with Mr. Rochemore. Recognizing him from a mile away, she confirms it's him. They swap numbers and start reminiscing about the good old days. And then, bam, she hits him with the possible daddy news.
I ran into Rudy on the bus one day on the way from school. And I'm like, I know him, from my past. I've never forgotten him. I say, excuse me, what is your name? Is your name Rudolph? He says, yes. I say, Rudolph Rochemore. He says, yes, it is. He asks me, who are you? And I look at him like this. I'm like, for real? Really? And I'm like, I'm Yvette.
This is where it gets juicy. In the courtroom, Miss Simmons dives deeper into her bus convo with Mr. Rochemore, revealing she hinted at him possibly being the daddy. This is major, folks, setting us up for the big reveal. And trust me, you won't want to miss what's coming next. It's a doozy.
In the conversation with Rudolph, I told him it's a possibility that I may have your child.
What was his response?
I said, what would make you think that it's my daughter? I say, because there's really no resemblance, the man that she calls her father.
I just want to know why you didn't tell me before,
I had no idea.
Grab your tissues and maybe some popcorn. Miss Lawrence vents big time about feeling betrayed after learning the truth from her mom. The bond she thought was unbreakable with her mom now has more cracks than a sidewalk. What's next? Oh, you'll want to stick around for the bomb they're about to drop.
It hurts a lot. I never really knew that she felt like that. Me not telling her was because I didn't want to hurt her.
You didn't think that it would hurt me more now than it would
I never thought I would run into him, thought I would see him again.
But that's what I want to know too. Even if you didn't see him, I don't know.
And here comes Mr. Rochemore, stepping into the spotlight for the first time. The air's thick with tension as he and Miss Lawrence size each other up. He admits there might be a resemblance, and everyone's on the edge of their seats. Next up, the DNA results. Are you ready for this, Jelly?
When you look at her today, do you feel like this could be a real possibility?
I could see some resemblance by the eyes.
Miss Lawrence, how do you feel
I have butterflies in my stomach. I really do. I don't feel like there's any attachment or could be my dad.
Here it comes, a moment of truth.
When it comes to 29-year-old Shatika, Mr. Rochemore, you are her father.